Yes, this house is haunted. And it's just this way at the Dim Carnival.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
Juggalo, 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 clap, clap, juggalo, clap, from the front to the back, juggalo, juggalo, juggalo. We're talking about Mansmith Volume 1, and this is the third and final installment of that. We're talking about the last 4 tracks off of Twisted's Mansmith Volume 1, which is Feel This, Entity, The Argument, and Bonus Flavor. Or, if you happen to be listening on iTunes, we're talking about the track Flavor, parentheses, bonus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it thinks it's a bonus track and not a track called Bonus Flavor. Because, once again, we are talking about a 15-year-old album that some fucking high-as-shit juggalo put into iTunes and was like, I think this is the name of the track, and that's how it has remained. Thanks, MP3 tags, for eternity. I just want to give props to those fucking rolling off their tits 14-year-olds who got to write the metadata for every Psychopathic Records album for the next 30 years. Like, this is your legacy. You own it. You own your legacy. Anywho, shall we talk about the first track, or do we have any thoughts about these 4 tracks before we dive in?
Well, I'd say that after 2 weeks of listening to this record or going into the third, I'm still not sure what Mansmith is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's just it's inscrutable. There's no way.
But maybe we'll figure it out by the end of the hour.
This right here is some monkey bread you cannot pull apart. It is a Twizzler that shall remain forevermore twizzled. All right.
I think we should be honored.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys are smoking so much weed, I'm smelling it here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Guilty.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the first track this week, which is called Feel This. And if you haven't taken a listen, take a listen right now.
Spoke the word of mine to enlighten them as everyone. I believe that's us. So when the mics are on, then we bust. It's like an adrenaline rush. So you don't and mine too. When everyone behind you, as long as you keep it twisted, we'll always be beside you. I want you to feel this. This ain't this hate, even if you can't pretend to feel this.
Here we go. Juggalo, clap, clap, juggalo, clap, clap, from the front to the back, juggalo, clap, clap,
Bill,
juggalo.
I want you to
feel this. Yeah. This is a fun song, guys.
It's a fun song.
What's crazy about this song, as I said last week, it is a triptych with Get Ready and Fuck You, because when this song starts, you're like, oh yeah, it's a Juggalo anthem. We're like, oh yeah, we're like, clap, clap, we're gonna fucking boogie on down to the dance. Nope, it's about getting in a fucking fight.
Apparently that's what they do a lot, though.
Yeah, sure. It's just so weird that, like, I like the song a lot, but it's very weird to be like, Juggalo, clap, clap, Juggalo, clap, clap, and then be like, fucking fight. Like, it's such a boogie. Like, it's a dance boogie. And they're like, let us fight. Like, are they going to dance fight? Like the Jets and the Sharks? We can only hope.
I couldn't even tell you, man. I didn't even get that this song was about anything. I thought I couldn't tell you what this song was about.
It's basically about how good they are at rapping, and they're going to fight everyone who thinks they're not good at rapping. That's because they're spitting verbal milk while you're sucking a sour tit.
I get it now.
And I'm not even high enough to think about writing that. I do like Jamie saying, don't spit till you see the grit of the mic. Which is like, don't fire until you see the whites of the eyes or whatever, which is like fun. Like, it's just like, this is a fun song about like how good they are at rapping. And I can always appreciate a song where it's like, I'm so good at rapping. Like, especially if the song involves some sort of permutation of like hip hop to the hibby, or like rip rap rebbity doo. Like those are also good lyrics about how good you are at rapping. I said a rip rap, rip it to the rip it to do, and I'll rap, I'll rap on you. Like that's the fucking right there. That's the wisdom.
Although back in those days, what they were actually afraid of was like someone Christmas wrapping them.
Oh yeah, no,
because they didn't have shit to give for Christmas. And if you got wrapped up, shit.
Oh boy, then it's Christmas in Hollis. Like then it's fucking on right there. Yep. I got gift wrapped. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll talk to you next.
I'm off the tracks.
Good night, everybody.
Off the track.
Oh,
what's happening?
Oh, Ryan's getting meta.
I want to talk about the music for a second. When there's parts of the verse where there's this like spacey melody that's playing, kind of like a old sci-fi alien sound to me, but then it drops out and it's just kind of the beat, and it sounds really, really sparse. And I guess that's this song made me think that being something of Lavelle's style in particular, that he has these kind of like chunky bits of sound throughout the beat and lots of breaks and pauses in between. This is something that I noticed moving forward or with other songs this week.
I was going to say in this song, and it's a part of my notes, that I feel like there's a throwback a little bit to Chainsmoker, where there was the one song where there was like, get your ass up out of the way, and there's like no music but the beat.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of that in this. I mean, not as intense as that particular song, but it still gives me that feel. So
yeah, I like the parts when the music's there, but when the music drops out, I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I do also like the part where Monoxide talks about how he drives his car with a big screen TV in the front watching porno nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
So y'all have seen, like, I've been driving behind someone in an SUV watching porno.
No, I've never seen that.
Never.
It's pretty funny.
I don't live in Southern California. Well, I don't live in your part of Southern California.
This happened in Northern California, my friend.
Oh, you shut up.
Okay.
I guess I don't drive enough.
This is many years ago. Back when those screens in cars was a thing. Because I don't really see that very much anymore.
I kind of don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah, I guess not.
Because everyone could just watch it on their phone in the front seat now.
Right. Amazing.
No reason to kill people.
I thought it was kind of weird that, okay, so the premise of the song, in my assumption, is they actually literally spell it out, that they want to make a song that Juggalos really like, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like we want you to feel this, even if you can't pretend to relate to the stuff that we do. We just really want your admiration or whatever. We want you to vibe with us.
I think that's an extension also of like, we're so good at rapping, we're going to make you feel this.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it's kind of weird when late in the song, Monoxide Child says, if you don't feel this, then there's the door. Like, get the fuck out. Like, wait a minute. You took all
you're
this
not
time
a juggalo. Get
I
the
guess
fuck
not.
out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
they're
not.
building. This is the continuation of building a Juggalo family.
I want you to feel this. I'm not feeling this. Then fuck you. Get out of here. Yeah. All right. Final thoughts on this track, guys.
It's a song.
It sure is.
No, I like it. I've always enjoyed the song. My first line is, this song is like my literal first entry into my notes under this song. But I really enjoy the song. Yes. But it's silly.
It is silly. It's a silly song. Ryan?
Yeah, I think there's better songs to come.
For example, the next track. So let's go ahead and talk about Entity. And if you haven't heard Entity, go ahead and take a listen right now.
An eternal thirst that'll never be quenched.
So pack your bags if you just moved in, cause there's no telling the things that he's capable of doing.
There's a dark spirit living in your house with you. So here's a quick list of things you gon' need to do.
Get the fuck out.
Guys, I fucking love this song.
Yeah, this song.
So
It's about
Rules. This song rules.
Song's about a poltergeist or a haunting. What I found supremely is that this track came out several years before Paranormal Activity. And there's like a lot of like, we're like, obviously most of this song is based on just Poltergeist, like the movie Poltergeist.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a ball bouncing down the stairs and they're here and, I communicate with
And the lady in the very beginning of the song is meant to,
yes.
I assume, sound like, because like there's nowhere in that movie they say a ritual happens here every 3 years, but she sounds like that lady.
But I just thought it was interesting that like Monoxide's talking about is it Monoxide? One of those basically describing like what happens in Paranormal Activity, but like this came out a few years before Paranormal. I just thought that was interesting. And then Shaggy Two Dope. I didn't either. But Shaggy Two Dope does a verse, and it's the epitome of a Shaggy Two Dope verse, because like the first half of the verse is fucking righteous, and then he just stops caring.
Just gives up. Completely gives up.
Falls off a fucking cliff.
It's so fucking brilliant. I love his second part of his verse so much. That's a big part of my notes.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's not a big part of my notes, but
it's just so fun. And like that's what makes Shaggy so great. Is like it's like, oh, like he's on beat, his rhymes are on point, and then he stops doing all those things.
And you know what's awesome about it too is like Jamie moves into the house, gets scared, fucking leave.
Yeah.
Monoxide comes in, gets scared, fucking put your house up for sale. Then Shaggy comes in, and then he's just like explaining what's happening.
Yeah.
He's not scared. You never get the impression that Shaggy is. He's like, you people, if you're not attached to the afterworld, will be afraid of this. I'm not.
The first couple times I listened to it, I thought Shaggy was the poltergeist. I thought,
especially when he starts going, spirits were demons and demons are homies.
I'm a fan of Listen to Me. But like, yeah, like the first couple times I listened to it, I thought like, oh, Jamie and Monoxide are talking about like, oh, it's a haunted house, I'm being haunted. And then the third verse is from the point of view of the poltergeist. And it's
I love that. That's great, man. I like both of those things. Did not occur to me at all. Love it.
It's not true, but I just like that. Reading.
I love your interpretation. I wish I would have thought of that, because I mean, for me, I was just like, Shaggy doesn't give a fuck, and these other guys are scared and left.
I think that's really funny too.
Shaggy fundamentally understands more about the supernatural than Twisted does.
Yeah,
and he's like. Madrox tunes into channel 13. I prefer number 17. Know what I mean? Probably not.
Yeah.
He knows better than you. But like, fucking, okay. So I think that the most brilliant thing about the song is here's a quick list of things you need to do.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of that.
Right. That's it.
So good. This is probably the best hook on the album.
Yeah.
It's a
dark
really
spirit
good
living in your house with you. So here's a quick list of things you're going to need to do. Get the fuck out.
Who's singing that too? Is that like
might be
both of them like mixed together, like in a low voice?
Just gang vocals, I think.
Yeah. I feel like I can hear. Badass. I feel like I can hear Blaze on the hook.
Yeah, for sure.
And some other people. I think it's gang vocals.
I love this song. It's so awesome.
I think this song is neck and neck with Off the Chain for my favorite track on the album.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote music rules, song rules. Like every time I listen to it, it's got better and better and better.
Yeah, it's great.
Like as cool as the songs with JR are. Yeah, as cool as the songs that have Jay on them, like hearing Shaggy, like I think if I'm not mistaken, right, we only hear Shaggy in the intro. We're all gonna die, and now we're hearing him like tripping up his line. Demons are demons, and spirits are homies. I just fucking
So
love
bad.
it so much.
So bad.
I also think that this is, so you can argue Won't Die, but like this is the only track on the album that's like explicitly supernatural,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
which is
Because
a
everything else is conspiracy.
pretty stark departure for Psychopathic Records release up to this point.
That's
Yeah.
true, man. I wish they did more of it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
And it's crazy, like, so like I've been enjoying Man Smith, but it's weird to like look like this now at the end of Man Smith to like look back and be like, oh, Entity and Off the Chain are like my favorite tracks, and like nothing really even comes close. Like so high, but like
I like Story of Our Lives.
there's so little of this album that's like memorable or like important, like to me. Like I know if you have a very personal connection to this album, you listened to it for 15 years, so like I get it for you, but like for me, like listening to this album closely for the first time, it's like there's a few tracks on here that are really, really good bangers, and the rest of it is just like fucking like just dipshit conspiracy theories.
Well, you know. Nah, I totally get that, man. Yeah, I totally get that. I'm happy you guys have enjoyed this album as much as you have. I mean, we haven't gotten to the end of it, but to this point, like, you guys have been very positive with this album, and it makes me very happy.
It's objectively got a lot of really good stuff going for it.
Well, and we've had at least one really solid track every week, you know, every group. So that's really helped.
It turns out that that's the secret. Like if you make a mediocre album the whole way, like Colton Grundy, so that's the ultimate crime, is like making an album like Colton Grundy where it's like, this is a good album, but it's boring and nothing grabs me. Like, it's so much better for us and for this podcast and for Psychopathic Records to be like, look, we got 3 really good tracks. We're going to put them on a 15-track album.
We're going to put it on 2 15-track albums.
No, there's some bangers on the next album. Don't say that.
Listen, okay, hold on. We're getting too far away from it. You guys are talking about Poltergeist. You're talking about Paranormal Activity. On a hunch, because the name, the entity, it seemed too specific, and they didn't say anything about the entity in the track, you know, as if the entity was a character or anything like that. So I had a hunch, and I looked it up, and there was a movie that came out in 1982 called The Entity, starring Ron Silver and Barbara Hershey.
Ooh,
I've seen that.
The tagline is, a woman is tormented and sexually molested by an invisible demon. The plot is that there is a poltergeist in this house, and it's physically interacting and tormenting, you know, the inhabitants.
There's a shower scene.
Oh, well, I guess I gotta watch it now. But I'm saying, I mean, it's gotta be, it's so close. It has to be the direct influence, you know, for this. I'm calling it. I'm saying it right now.
Well, wait. Which of these gentlemen is being sexually assaulted by a poltergeist?
No, that's the thing. Is there's a entity in the house, right? That's gonna.
There's a dark spirit living in the house with you.
Yeah.
What the fuck you gonna do?
Right.
No, that's good. That's good.
I follow you. I follow you, Ryan. Bill's being me.
I'm not.
I don't take it that way. The other thing is that it could be whatever Swedish movie is in the outro.
Swede times.
I don't know if it actually is, but on Genius it says it's
it says reverse
Swedish.
talking in Swedish.
It's definitely in reverse. And I played it. I actually downloaded it and reversed it, and it's not in English, so maybe it is in Swedish.
I think our next Dim Carnival shirt should have in parentheses reverse talking in Swedish. Either that or it has
backwards.
Either that or it has voodoo symbols so that when people read them they become creatures.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably make that
one. Serious research. See, it's hard to do research on that because if you look at the voodoo
What happened to Ryan? Well, it
creature
slowed
now.
down the podcast. He became a Cthulhu.
It's actually Ryan's creature. All right. Shall we move on to the worst song on the album?
Let's do
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the argument. And if you haven't taken a listen, take a listen right now.
But instead you pack your bags, give me the finger and tell me you're leaving. I know these demons are gonna come get me, so forget we ever met. I hope you don't mind the blood dripping all over my neck. Now you can think me bad for the things I do, but you don't understand. It's not all about
So this
you.
song's a huge bummer,
Yeah.
and it sucks, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah. This is the song I skip.
Yep, and for good reason. It's a breakup / abusive relationship / unhealthy. I think more than anything, explicitly, it's a very unhealthy relationship, and the narrators are like extremely self-centered, and the hook is like you can think me bad for the things I do, but you don't understand it's not all about you, which is like the most fucked up thing that you could possibly say to someone.
That you're abusing.
Like,
yeah.
look, maybe you think I'm a bad person, but it's not all about you. Like, what the fuck does that even? Shut up, dude. The worst.
Do you have any idea why I blackened your eyes?
Yeah. And
Yep.
it's like screaming arguments and like their kids in the doorway crying. Like, fuck this song. This song sucks.
I don't like this song.
Like, and the worst part about this song is like it's a like emo like, oh, you don't understand all the emotions I have. You don't understand how hard it is to do bad things and treat
Better
people.
get it right.
It's just this
Yeah.
song is so goddamn
Yeah.
dry. It's like the epitome of toxic masculinity and bullshit.
I had an unfounded idea about this song, and going back to that interview when Monoxide's like, oh, this album's so angry, and Jamie kind of like, well, okay, and I was like, I wonder if like this song, because this is like the epitome of fucking dumbass angry song. I was like, I wonder if this was like under Monoxide's direction of how this song was made and directed. And I'm not saying that he would have written anything that Mad Rock's, raps or sings in the song, but like I could just see like him saying, I'm really angry at my baby mama and blah, 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 blah. So, write something that goes along with this and gives him some lyrics, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that it often happens in like these rap duos where they're like, all right, I want to do a song about this, and the other person's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. And like it would make sense in like why in Monoxide's head this song, like this album's so angry, because he was very angry when he wrote this song, and it doesn't come off, if you're like a rational, not even smart, just a rational person, like the lyrics are abhorrent in the song. Like,
yeah, and it's like it hits in a completely different way than like just the like what we'd seen up to this point from all these acts of like just like a like fantasizing violence against women track.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any explicit violence against women in here.
I don't really think so.
Yeah, just like he threatens to harm himself, and like that's like the most like explicit violence that's in the song. Like he's like, oh, like hope you don't mind if blood's dripping all over my neck. Like he's threatening to like cut his own throat or whatever. But it's like it hits in such a different way, and I don't know whether that's to like what, like if that says something awful about me, of like this is just like so like transparently like really pathetic, and like it's so shitty of like basically like instead of like violence against women, it's like basically like victim blaming and like it's like victim blaming and gaslighting. It's like, look, I do a bunch of bad shit, but like why are you always trying to make it about you? Like what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like
I feel like in a weird way, so like listening to some of those interviews, I noticed there's a difference between the way Violent J and Shaggy talk about women and I hate to say it, but like Shaggy keeps always referring to women on the road as bitches and his friends women as bitches, where Violent J does not do that in those interviews. And there was, with the Chris Hansen story, they asked him about like what was the oldest things that anyone had from like ICP merchandise or ICP things. And so like, Billy Bill and Jump Steady had like the first 5 original like diamond crusted, and they're still wearing them to this day, like hatchet men around their neck. And I don't remember what Violent J had that was really old, but one of the 2 things that Shaggy said that was the oldest things he had from ICP memorabilia was the original lyrics that he wrote for Black in Her Eyes. And that really bummed me out.
Mm.
And I can't help but like feel like in this song they don't want to say black in your eye because that's too fucked up in 2005. So they do this garbage, gaslighting, all the things that you said, Bill.
The only thing
what I mean?
The only thing that could bum me out more about this song, I think, is like if like Monoxide or Madrox or whoever was the like driving force behind this song, like took the song home and like played it, and they're like, this is all the stuff I've been trying to say.
Oh,
that's really. I've just been really enjoying listening to you guys talk about this track and all the things you thought about it. I
definitely wasn't peeing.
I didn't really get so deep into it.
Oh yeah, this song didn't bum you out?
No. I mean, it's definitely a bummer of a song. But what I really thought about, what it made me think about was when I was in my 20s and the relationships that I was in and how they sometimes would be really tumultuous. And when you're arguing with somebody, I don't know, like when you're young, you feel like you really got to argue it out, because I guess for me, at least, I felt like I didn't always know exactly where I stood on things, or didn't really understand what my expectations were, or whether my expectations were fair or reasonable. And that's what always made for altercations with people that I was in relationships with. And now that I'm old and I've been through a bunch of relationships and know exactly like what I'm looking for, what I want, I don't fuck around when somebody doesn't treat me the right way, or it's like if somebody says something, I just don't imagine that I would pursue a relationship if I was like, that's not going to go anywhere. But when you're 20, you're like, no, we got to figure this out. We got to work on it,
I totally get that. I totally get that reading. And I think the fact that it's called The Argument, like, speaks, I think that you are absolutely on the money. But the things that make it, like, that extra degree of fucked up are, 1, there's a child involved, and
and he's
2,
like straight rapping to her about how terrible and it's all her mom's fault. Like, that's a really damaging thing to do to a kid,
Yes. But just, like, I can't get over, I just can't get over the couplet. You can think me bad for the things I do, but you don't understand it's not all about you. How the fuck? Like, that doesn't even fall. Like, Ryan, I don't think even in your shittiest, like, 20-year-old tumultuous relationship, you would be like, look, you might think I'm a bad person, but it's not about you. Like, how does it even fucking follow?
Yeah. Well, he says, he's like, I thought she was going to leave because I'm a dick, I'm not a good person.
Right.
He's not a good person.
Yeah, I don't like the song, and it bums me out.
I don't like that song. Never have.
It was Ryan's favorite song on the album.
I didn't like it. I was really confused because he's rapping directly to his daughter, like, your daddy loves you, baby, your mom's a crazy lady. And then the next line is, I never meant for her to leave us. So he's got multiple lines where he's clearly talking to his daughter. And then he says, I got some issues that I know I need to deal with, but so do you. Don't act like that. At least just keep it real with me. There's no break between... Is he saying this to his kid? Because I looked it up on Wikipedia, and his oldest child would have been 6 years old when he recorded this. So it's so weird, really weird. Because I wasn't sure, like, is the kid leaving? Like, the kid is walking out on him now, and he's trying to explain. I was super confused. I don't think he really is. I think they're supposed to be, he's, like, jumping back to talking about the mom again. But
I think that's the implication.
It just reads bad,
Yeah, that's, I can't with this song. just gonna have to keep spoon feeding me controversy.
Well,
All right.
you know what's good though? What's good about
Yes,
this song
I do.
is that it ends.
Yes, and it goes into the last song of the album. So without further ado, we're gonna talk about the last song of the album, which is Bonus Flavor, or Flavor parentheses bonus. And if you haven't taken a listen, go ahead and take a listen right now.
In Detroit smoking in attempts to crack the chest plate. The zips be so fluffy, the whole town loves me. At every event, I'm sacked up. So if you need me, scream E-Shine when you see me. I got 5 on it. Grab your phone and let's get kicked. I got 5.
Oh, I got 5 on it. Oh, guys,
Well,
it's just a cover of "I Got 5 on It" by Lunas.
Well, you guys are both Bay Area kids. You guys both born and raised Bay Area, right?
Shut up.
I don't know where you were born
I
actually,
will
Steve,
claim
but I
that.
assume you were born in Salinas, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And so, I mean, I was born and raised in Southern California, but I lived in the Bay Area for a long time, and there's something really special about the Bay Area rap scene, something that's very unique. It's special, right? And it's recognized in the rap community, that has its own classification. And so this song, you know, it's when you grow up, or I consider, you know, college as being part of my youth. And so like growing up or coming up and having something that's tied to your neighborhood or your region that blows up across, you know, play this song for anybody all over the place and they know it. But these guys are from Oakland, you know, and so it was like cool to have that be part of something that was part of your neighborhood or, you know, adjacent to your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Not to mention
So,
it's just a banging
I have
track.
no experience of that, but yeah, I could see why you would say that.
So I Got 5 on It by Lunas, featuring Michael Marshall, came out 10 years, which is crazy, 10 years before Mansmith Volume 1 came out in 1995. And about 15 years after Bonus Flavor appeared on Mansmith Volume 1, the movie Us did a very effective and evocative, very famous trailer featuring a chopped and screwed spooky version of I Got 5 on It. So that ties into the Paranormal Activity spooky stuff. So basically, Twisted, what I'm saying is they foresaw both Paranormal Activity and Jordan Peele's Us, because they did these two.
Well,
It's all connected.
Yeah, I mean, fucking crop circles and karma and
I mean, we off the track
aliens.
now, baby?
They're off the
Off the
fucking
track now?
track. Yeah.
All right, so this track featured essentially everyone who was on
Everyone.
Psychopathic Records at the time. It's got Supervillains, which is Isham, ICP, and Lavelle, and it's got Drive-By, which is ABK and Blaze, You Dead Homie, and of course Twisted. So it also has, holy shit, you guys, it has a
Isham.
cameo. I said the Supervillains are Isham and
Oh,
Lavelle.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
And most importantly, it has cameos by Sweet Daddy Coconut, and most importantly, a one-line cameo by the one and only Mo Styles.
He's in his piece. What's up, son?
And this really hammered home for me that Mo Styles is Monoxide doing his Lil Poop voice, and the Lil Poop voice is him making fun of anybody killer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's
doing a loving
G-Mo,
impression.
right?
Yeah,
G-Mo.
because Twisted and ABK go back way far,
Yeah.
much farther than the ICP and Twisted connection. So
The notes. It's funny that the last track bummed you guys out so much because this one actually made me sad. I like everybody being on the track, the family part of the album, you know, that being an overarching tone or whatever theme. And then the way that they all announce themselves at the very beginning of who's on the track, and they all just kind of pop in and do their fun little thing. Like it just made me feel so high. And then I was like, oh, it's so sad that this is like gonna end, you know, and we're gonna lose these moments and they're not gonna come back. It's like,
well, like 10 years after this.
I mean, I know we have a lot more records to listen to,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know.
I get it. I just enjoy living in this moment where everyone was cool with each other, and I also think it's
dope.
very I I also think it's very funny that Fritz the Cat gets a produced by credit on this, when really he was just the engineer. He played I Got Five on it instrumental and then
he cuts it.
recorded
He really cuts it up, man. Like,
yeah.
yeah, you'd be surprised if you really.
I listened to Bonus Flavor and I Got Five on it back to back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he cuts.
I mean,
it up,
I mean, he probably like extends some verses and shortens some choruses and stuff. I get what you're saying. I just think it's funny when it's like clearly the track
it's
from I Got Five on it.
it's a cover.
It's a cover.
Yeah.
But it is the track. He didn't recreate the track.
He did recreate some parts of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think
It's like Weird Al. It's like Weird Al's band. Like, sometimes they do such a good job that you think they would just re-recorded vocals over it, but no, they remade it.
Okay, but kind of speaking of Weird Al, so we haven't listened to a lot of Lavelle. Actually, this is like kind of our first Lavelle, right? Pretty much. He's been on multiple tracks on this album. Rapping, I mean. So I wasn't too sure because I was listening to his verse, and he gets to rap first, which is great. I was listening to it and I was like, this guy's doing an East Bay rapper impression. but I wasn't sure. So then I listened to a couple of other Lavelle tracks. I found out Lavelle has multiple diss tracks for ICP and Twisted and Shaggy 2 Dope and whatever, which were pretty funny. And most of them are posted by Juggalos, and they all get thumbs down, and all the comments are like, yeah, I posted this trash, fuck them, but which is hilarious to me. He doesn't rap like that. I think that he's doing an East Bay rapper impression to go with the music, in appreciation and celebration of the track. That's my take.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get that. And, cool way to stun on him if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting a featured verse and I'm going to rap like I don't rap.
Yeah. I mean, I think his verse is great.
No, it's awesome. I think the whole thing's great.
The whole thing is great. There's a lot of good references in here and some odd ones. Mm-hmm. So they reference a lot of music. Montel Jordan, Cypress Hill, Method Man. But then in the middle of that, they throw in the Oklahoma City bombing. Which is odd.
They also reference an Al Capone underboss, Frank Nitti.
Right. Well, that's like a Detroit, right? Got to mention Detroit.
Nope. That is Chicago.
What am I? Yeah. Why? I don't know why doesn't he say that? I don't know anything about Frank Nitti. I thought that Jamie says something like, I grew up from Detroit, so of course I know about Frank Nitti or something. I don't remember what the lyric is.
Maybe he gets killed.
Maybe I misunderstood.
Well, keep talking.
But the other one is, and I'm not sure if this is, but it's what made me think of the in Monoxide's verse, the end of Monoxide's verse, he says, I shall proceed. And that was Proceed, right? By The Roots, which had come out just a year or two before this record. Do you want some more?
Well, no. The words Detroit nor Michigan do not appear on Frank Nitti's Wikipedia page. So, Chicago.
Oh, he says, I'm from Detroit City. Frank Nitti is a goner. Yeah. So that doesn't mean anything.
And then doesn't he say I'm blowing it up like Oklahoma?
Blowing it up like Oklahoma? Yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing? What are we talking about here? This is how we do it, like Montel Jordan.
He also says parlay, which is, he definitely learned that from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right. Good call.
Also, okay, I forgot to mention it. I do not know what track it is on, but on one of the tracks on this album, Madrox refers to his couplets as quadrains, which is fucking the smartest thing I've ever heard him say.
I don't remember what that might have been on Phil This.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
Blaze calls himself Grundy on this track, and did we talk about this? Somebody mentioned, maybe it was a discussion on the Instagram, if you guys remember, that they were kind of trying to push him to have this personality of Colton Grundy
instead of Blaze.
Yeah.
Why?
Do you know what I'm talking about, Bill? Do you remember?
Wait, sorry, who was saying that?
I feel like, I feel like I either read it somewhere or maybe it was a discussion that happened on the Instagram, in the comments of one of the Dim Carnival posts. like Rob from Twisted History or something. That just during the era they were really trying to push this like Colton Grundy kind of persona for Blaze. And so it makes sense that he dropped it right in the beginning of his, first line of his part.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just read it as like, this is the album I have out right now that came out recently, and like this is just what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Well,
yeah, it's great.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 minutes long or something. And it's just a super
like
long.
it's just.
I got 5 on it.
You can't go wrong by covering this song because it's like one of the most undeniable choruses and hooks like in any rap song ever.
So good.
And well, this is our third weed smoking song on the album.
Well, people forget that these guys are about that smoke.
Is it just the 3 though? No, I
gotta remind them.
I didn't know if it was 3 or if there's another one I'm missing. I think it's just the 3. So high off the chain and bonus flavor. Steve, final thoughts.
Earlier on the last episode, I was saying how when I was listening to So High, when I was having a smoke circle, especially on my birthday, and I would have to get quick to skip the skit after So High, because everyone loved this. So that's what I did. I had an iPod, iPod Touch back in those days, which is just basically an iPhone that didn't work like an iPhone. And so what I would do is I would just like, as the song was nearing in, getting close to the skit, right when the skit would roll in, I already had this bonus track lined up, and then I would just hit that, and then this song would kick on, and everyone would be like, yeah! And then they would hear that it wasn't the original, but it's such a good version.
Yeah.
That
great.
like no one cared, and they were like, "Oh, this is cool." And then they recognized Twisted's voices because we just listened to this other song, and so like they appreciated it. To them, it was just a Twisted song, and then there's a bunch of other people who had no idea, And I didn't necessarily say that Shaggy, even though it says it in the beginning, but they're not pink,
No.
So it was fun. And to be honest, I heard this song before I heard the original before I heard this remake, but like I didn't smoke back then. I didn't listen to rap music and very often. I mean, I had very specific groups I listened to, and kind of, I don't count ICP or Psychopathic Records in my I listen to rap music category still. No offense, but you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like this song to me in a lot of ways is like, I like this version better than the original, and I know that's heresy to actual hip hop fans, but it's no more different than I would say every Weird Al song that's a parody of a real song I like better than the real song.
For sure.
So
especially the polka version.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it's a polka medley, come on, fuck that. That's amazing. But you know what I mean. So that's how and it's embarrassing in a little bit of a way. Like, there's certain people I wouldn't tell that to in real life if we were having a conversation about it. And if they asked me, oh, you remember that song I got 5 on it? I would pretend that I remember it from the original and not this. But the reality is, it's a great song. I love it.
And that's a story of how Steve red-pilled his friends into Twisted.
Oh, God, that's awful to say it.
It's true, though.
Guys, it is definitely true. Guys, I want to say that I really
love.
I
just want to put it out there. No red pills.
Sorry, no, it's no problem. I just want to say that I really love Isham's verse. He actually gives a shout out to Oakland.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Isham's verse is incredible.
Yeah. Yep. And I wish that I had paid closer attention to the words in Isham's verse, because he breaks down Steve's strategy where you stick all the weed inside a Ziploc bag. And Isham's Ziploc bags are so fluffy that the whole town loves him.
It's true.
So, Isham and Steve, they both know about how to really get the fluffy weed in the Ziploc bags.
Isham and Steve, 2 drug dealers.
I got stories, guys, that scare me, and I can't believe there's things I've done, but I'm not going to say anymore. But I'll hit you up in the DMs.
It's cool. I don't think the 70 people that listen to us, any of them are cops.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think any of them would care, but you know.
All right. Well, final thoughts about Mansmith Volume 1, guys. My favorite track on the album, Off the Chain. My least favorite track, The Argument. Overall, don't know what the fuck this album's about. I don't think it's about anything. I think it's about a bunch of fucking half-baked cockamamie quasi-conspiracy theories, and they're trying to be smart a lot of the times, and it falls flat often, if not always. But an enjoyable album overall with some really high points. Very, very high points.
yeah, like instead of saying peaks and valleys, I'd say it's like peaks and plains, like peaks and plateaus.
Yeah.
And the peaks are really, really good. I really like Story of Our Lives, and I continue to still watch that video. The video is amazing.
I still need to watch that.
Highly recommend that you check it out. It's glorious.
It's so great.
Top to bottom, it's so good. My favorite thing about it is Monoxide and the way he's not moving his head he doesn't move his neck, I think, at all for the entire video. Like his head is completely stationary. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a great video.
And so I just really like the song, from having listened to and watching the video, especially those two things together. So High, great. And then loved Entity. I wish they did more of that supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the I Got Five on with everybody on the track. Really fun way to go out.
I really, really love the first 3 to 4 tracks of the album. And then jumping to, I think So High is my favorite song on the album, just based on the stories I told earlier, last week. And Entity also getting towards the end, Entity, and then, the bonus track or whatever, Freshness or whatever it's called, or Flavor. All that shit. Really, I mean, and I texted this to you guys at one point. I basically love every song on this album except for The Argument. Only song I don't like on this album, but obviously some are a lot better than others, and so definitely So High definitely being up there just because of the social status of having it's so cool to share something you love with people and then they actually like it, as opposed to I love this ICP song. Please just listen to this song or watch this video, and they watch it and you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You're like, okay, yeah. But that song, and I'm sure being high played a big part of it, but the music takes you with it, all that type of stuff. So yeah, fucking love this album though.
Well, thank you for being our guide through it, Steve. And we'll be relying on you for the next installment, because next week we're going to begin Mutant Volume 2. I'm sorry, Mutant Volume 2. And that's by Twisted as well. And we're going to listen to the first 5 tracks for next week. It's The Transformation of a New Civilization. What is this, a hardcore album? The first track is The Transformation of a New Civilization.
Almost.
Second track is Get Off of Me, which is, I have to assume, is a cover of Get Off Me Dog. Third track is Stardust. Fourth is Familiar. And fifth is Madness. So, Madness is produced by Violent J, I see. That should be interesting. All right. Well, we'll listen to the first 5 tracks off of Mutant Volume 2. So, we'll do that next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. We always appreciate hearing from you. So if you want to tell us anything, if you want to tell us maybe what was the point of the commode story, you can send email to dimcarnival@gmail.com. You can follow us on all social media at dimcarnival, and please check out the YouTube channel that Ryan has been working so hard on. Click that bell or whatever, and leave us a review on iTunes, 5 stars. But thanks to everybody. We always appreciate hearing from you. Love seeing the Instagram comments. Love getting the emails. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for sticking in there, because we came back and now we're basically back up to where we were before we took that year-long hiatus for my kid to be born. So thanks to everybody for everything. Keep on keeping on. We look forward to Twisted History telling us what we got wrong about all this. Anyway, thanks to everybody. And until next week, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And guys, I'm sorry to say that I can only get 4 on it.
That's
You know,
brilliant.
right, Ryan? Ryan's in the meme.
Did we lose Ryan? Damn it.
Oh no, he's recording this.
No, I'm here.
I just hate this.
No, I
No,
was
I
actually I was reading the lyrics. So I was listening to you guys. Well, because it's
Does
so
weed come from Afghanistan?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Does.
They talk about it a lot.
Well, here's the thing the reason why I kind of
Poppy feels more in Afghanistan than weed.
I just assumed all of these people are so stupid that they just keep saying weed's from Afghanistan.